Hey, what's up, guys? So today we're gonna be talking about the easy route and the hard route to be you. And today I want to talk to you guys about two different ways we can go in our lives. And just like everything, there's only two sides. I know that we probably heard before, this kind of topic. This might be a little bit off topic, but some people will say, there's three sides to a story: your truth, their truth, and the truth. But in reality, there is only two sides to everything. One side is that you have the truths of what both of you are saying and the truth about the matter at hand. And for today's topic, the truth of the matter at hand is that we have an easy route and we have a hard route to take in our lives. And the other truth in that it also is that you get to choose which one you want. Well, it's easy to always take the easy route. That never means that it's actually going to be the good route. And while we have the hard route, which is never the easy choice, sometimes it is the good route. And I don't mean that things shouldn't come easy or it should never be easy or that everything should be hard. What I'm saying is that if you want to be great, if you want great things in your life, sometimes that means you're going to have to go through the hard route. And deciding on which route you want to take dictates, what kingdom you are a part of. See, we have an earthly kingdom with an earthly king where the people fight for the king, and the other kingdom is a heavenly kingdom where the king fights for the people. See, the heavenly kingdom, the king serves the servants. And that is why Jesus had to come for us, because God is a servant at heart. And he stripped himself of glory to come down here in the form of a man to touch us, to redeem us, and to guide us to be in the places and spaces that we would never see ourselves in. And no matter how crazy it gets, he's already been there because he's already gone ahead of you and made your crooked path straight. In Hebrews 12, verse 1 through 2, it says, "Therefore we also, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which so easily ensnares us, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us, looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and has sat down at the right hand of the throne of God." So we know that he's been set before us, then we can understand that our lives are indeed a race. And for it to be a race, we know that we have to take a route in order to see the finish line. So if we're looking at Jesus as the one who started our race at the finish line, which means we're going to make it through. See, Jesus is cheering us on because he's already went ahead of us, knowing that this was and will be hard. He knows it's difficult because he's already made our way. And when you're called by God to do anything in your life, very seldom does he actually make it easy. So we have a very deep God and very intentional God, and sometimes he likes to get inside. And in the deep and in the inside is where he likes to work. And when God has work that he wants and a will that has to be done, there is no escaping what we have to go through or what we have to deal with. So we have to endure and we have to overcome because there's no way around it. Sometimes your best way to get past the fire is to indeed to go through the fire. And when we are seeking a higher version of ourselves or a great success for our lives, we never know what it's really going to look like. All we know is what we want it to look like. And if most people could get what they pick, they'd always pick the easiest way to get the job done. And because we live in a society that everybody wants everything to happen yesterday, even though they're not prepared for today, they're willing to do anything to speed up the process. For example, if you look at our food that we have in America, it's terrible for us, and we lead the world with bad health, obesity, mental illness, and other things that actually stem from it.
We were just talking about this morning, how America, I mean, other people come here from other countries, and they say that there's so much sugar in our food, and they don't understand why. But I mean, we look around and it kind of makes sense. I mean, when it's really healthy,
Yeah,
there's a small percentage of people that are healthy here.
yeah. And they use the food to control us in a sense.
They do.
Because if you get sick, you need the doctor. If you go to the doctor, then you need insurance. If you have insurance, then they get paid. And if they get paid, then they get to keep doing what they do. So it's like a revolving cycle.
Yeah.
So to go back to not having to go through all of that, when you are hungry for something, don't go after what is just going to fill you up quickly. Go after what's actually going to nourish yourself and your body and your mind and your soul.
Exactly.
Do not look at life and try to grab the McDouble. Sometimes you need to grab the raw meat and make a patty. See, a lot of people make their excuses of, they don't have enough time, which is why they are the way they are, or why they choose the things they choose. But the actual thing is that you'll never find the time for anything. If you want time, you must make it. If you want a great life, you're going to have to go through some things, some trials you're going to have to go and walk through. But knowing that the Redeemer has already walked and paved the way should make your choices a little bit easier. And note that I said that it should make your choice a little bit easier, not make the way a little bit easier. See, what some of us forget is that before we were created, God knew us. Remember Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5. God said, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I sanctified you. I ordained you a prophet to the nations." But most of us are like Jeremiah, and we want to talk back to God by saying what we know we are. So Jeremiah said, "But I'm a child and I cannot speak." But we have to keep in mind that God already knows who we are, which is why we have to go through the trial so he can mold us into what he already sees for us. He knows what our potential is. He knows what we can become. And he knows what we're capable of when we're going through him. Yeah. And that is the difference between choosing the easy route and the hard route. See, in Romans 5, verse 3 through 4, it says, "We also glory in tribulations, knowing that tribulation produces perseverance, and perseverance, character, and character, hope." Just like I said a moment ago, God knows who we are and knows who we can be. The part of who we can be is where your character will be developed. And your character developing is not easy. It is hard to be you in a world that wants to tell you who you are. In other words, hard is actually normal for you. The you that you're becoming requires a hard because the lesser you will stay put in easy. In order to be you, it must be hard because the real you is beyond the perceived you. The real you is more than the you that you see in the mirror of your mind. The you that you have in the mirror of your mind is going to argue against the very identity that God created. So that means you have two identities: your present perceived identity and your actual identity. But the only way to actually get your actual identity is by navigating through the disciplines, and there's no way around that.
But discipline and value are so important.
Absolutely.
So important.
If you don't have values, then you can't have disciplines, because your disciplines are what keeps your values in line.
Exactly.
And in Romans 8, verse 19, it says, "For the earnest acceptation of the creation eagerly waits for the revealing of the sons of God." See, we are the sons of God, men and women. The children of God, in other words, means that the world won't get what it needs until you become who you need to be. See, we are the sons of God, but the reality of it is we all will live in a less life if we don't normalize the hard. So what happens is when things get hard, we think that it's above us. And it's not above you. It's because of you. And in order to break the barrier, we have to black out the noise in our minds. Because if you allow your mind to convince you that it's too hard or that it's bigger than you, you will quit.
That's when your faith comes into play. Because once you're doubting yourself, then you're doubting God. Because if you don't know how to do the thing that's above you or something you've never done before, that's when you have to have faith and know that you may not know what's going to happen or what route to go, but God has already present it. So that's all you need to know.
Absolutely. And if you lean into your heart and you begin to suspend your thinking and you allow your real capabilities to stand up in the moment of adversity, you'll go further than you ever could go. See, in Proverbs 24:10, it says, "If you faint in the day of adversity, your strength is small." And this is where picking the right mentor is so important. A great mentor should be studying their mentees. They should be studying their potential. that the mentees have and not putting everybody in the same pool.
Yeah.
A great mentor will take mental note of where you were last week or last month or last year. And the reason why they should do that is because it allows them to see your potential based on the amount of growth you've had. And not everybody grows at the same rate or the same speed, which is why you can't give everybody the same task. If I told you to go bench 350 or 360 or 370 or 380 today, you will get hurt. But if I tell you let's bench press 90 pounds because I know that you're capable of doing that, and then every couple of days I have you increase the weight and we keep working up to that 380, you will get your potential increase over time. But if I told you we're going to work to 380, you might think there's no way I can do that because of where you see yourself today and who you think you are right now. But a great mentor is going to know where you can be and is going to push you and put you in circumstances and situations that is going to allow you to grow into the potential that they can see.
I love to do this even like in motherhood, studying my children and seeing exactly, what their paces are exactly, and knowing that every single child is different and they learn at their own pace, and some children are better at like other things and others are better at the other things, and it's really important to see what they are good at and how you can help them in different ways. And it's just really amazing to really study children as well, because it's the same thing if you really think about it. The same thing even about a classroom. Think about a classroom and how everybody just they learn at their own pace. And that's why a mentor is important, because a mentor is going to push you even when you don't think that you're able to do the thing that you can't do at the current moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's like kids that are in school. It's like people think that if the child isn't keeping up with the class, then there's something wrong with the child.
Exactly.
When in reality, it's not the child, it's the teacher.
Exactly.
Because they are not teaching at the pace that the child can learn.
Exactly.
You have to be able to teach at the pace of somebody else, because nobody is you and you're not anybody else. But you have to understand and be able to dissect who that person is and how can you help them or serve them.
Exactly.
And another reason why it's important to recognize the potential and to increase potential based on you is because we're in an era of endurance. We had to be able to endure things so that we can become better, so we can become bigger. And do you know how endurance is produced? Well, you're not born with it, and it's not a spiritual gift. Nobody can speak a word or put hands on you and praise the endurance to be over your body. The way you get it is actually through the trials that comes to your lives. In Hebrews 10:36, it says, "For you have need of endurance, so that after you have done the will of God, you may receive the promise." And endurance will take you to the place where low-level things won't matter. See, when you go through enough stuff, all of a sudden, the little things don't matter anymore. Everybody be freaking out about something, you just be able to walk right through it. And that's what happens when you take the hard route. The things everybody complains about become easy. Just like it said in Proverbs 24:10. If you faint in the day of adversity, your strength is small. See, God is building your muscles. Just like when you're in the gym working out, you feel like you're going to die at first, but then you get stronger over time. And God is building you up from the inside out. He's building your character to be able to withstand. And sometimes the things you're going through, they will disfigure you. They will change you. They will change you in your core, what your values are, what you believe in, how you walk, how you talk. It's going to completely transform yourself into something else. And what I mean by that is that we're going to go through things in our life, and it's going to form and it's going to shape our lives. And it can be frustrating because we want more from what we see ourselves at the last point, and we pray for more. But if you're honest, you don't recognize what's even going on in front of you. See, some people pray for more, but they would rather have their familiar the things that are familiar to them or their comfort zone, because that's what they're used to. And the reason is because they want more, but at least they know where their feet are. At least they know where the ground is. At least you can recognize yourself.
They want more, but they're doing what they have been doing and expect more from that.
Yep.
And that's just not how it works.
Yep. But now we have to go through things and go through trials because God knows what to do and when to do it and how to do it. And whenever you are going through it, you're going to be deformed, which means you will have to take a new formation. And during the process of new formation, you have to be deformed because it's actually what was already formed to create a new version. In order to be something greater, you're going to have to change. So that's taking something that is in formation, disforming it to reform it into something greater. And the most beautiful thing and most powerful thing about transformation is that deformation process. It's because it teaches us how to trust God when you feel formless. It breaks you out of the perspective about God that says, I'm only being blessed when things are going my way. Or God's hand is only on me when I feel favor. When you feel like you're on top of the mountain and the doors are opening, or your finances are increasing, or you think God is on you, but that's actually after God's hand was on you. See, we have to understand that the times where we feel like we are alone, or the times that we feel like God has forgotten us, is actually the time where God is sitting back, helping us or watching us or guiding us, but we don't see it until after the fact. Everything is always delayed because we think that it's not happening yet because it's not happening on our time. But in reality, it's happening on God's time, which is actually eternal for him. Because God doesn't live by time. God lives by things that, God does things whenever he knows it's the right time.
Yes. And you have to be careful and understand that God will do it when he knows he needs to do it. I think a lot of people expect God to basically bless them with what they've been praying for exactly when they expect it. And when they don't get the thing that they've been praying for when they expect it, they think as if God abandoned them. God's not here no more. He's not listening. In all reality, you don't get to decide when God is going to bless you. And like Carlos said, he already probably blessed you, but you're too busy praying about this one thing. And the one thing that he gifted you with is right around you, but you're not seeing the blessing because you're focused in asking for something else.
Yeah.
We have to be careful. And I'm sure that we're all guilty of this, but the thing is, we have to learn from how we've been behaving and understand that we have a flexible God. And God is going to do the thing that he needs to do at the moment he needs to do it. Yeah. And that is that. There's no buts or ifs. God is God and he will do what he needs to do. Yeah. And it's already predestined anyways.
Yeah. And that's why in Matthew 22:14, it says, for many are called, but few are chosen. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to say, if you feel like you are called, you can be one of the few that are chosen. Mm-hmm. Don't think that you're not enough. Yeah. Just know that you're capable and you are enough and you can be chosen, but you have to be doing the will of God. Mm-hmm. You have to have a strong sense of your identity. You have to be willing to take the hard route, knowing that God has paved the way ahead of you. He has protected you from all angles, and you can lean back on his strength. So a little challenge for everybody that's watching, or live or seeing this later. Go back and create yourself an identity statement and be specific on who you are, what your values are, but break down the values. If you say you're a child of God, I want you to actually dissect that and find what that truly means. If you say I'm strong, break that down a little bit and say, why am I strong? How am I strong? What does strong look like? How am I expressing this? Am I just saying an affirmation, or am I actually saying a piece of me? Or am I, speaking something into my life that I want to be there? And how do I get there? And what process do I need to have? So I hope that this was received by you. I hope that this brought you value to your life. I hope that this message was for you. And if you feel like you know somebody that, could use this message, please share it with them. Please like this video. Please subscribe to our channel. And just know that we'll be bringing you stuff every week. And it's all coming from the heavens above. So in Jesus' name, we pray that you guys all have a great rest of your week, weekend, day, night, whatever time you guys are viewing this. We love you all. We thank you for your support. And we're out of here.